Good morning, folks. It's 11:52 a.m. Let me move this. A little bit of a noise. That should help. I'm going to flip back, make sure it's running live, because I have this problem sometimes. Good. It's running. So, to speed it up, it'll be noticeable. There's a beam or something that's come along here, Adelaide, and created a wall of pressure that's reacting differently. This cloud is not moving along with this mass, and that's telling me that this is an energized plasma cloud that's either higher up, more than likely, than this cloud. That's going to create a lot of electrical potential in this cloud for bad lightning. I'm going to turn some of these names of these towns off. It's just going to slow things down, and I hope everything's working all right. If not, I'll figure out another way. Right. That's a classic sickness mix, and I'm going to show you something. This show might be a little bit long. I'm going to correlate a deployment method here with a deployment method from 2016 in October that led to the deaths of initially 7 people. I call it sickness mix now. That's a deployment of sickness mix. I recognize it anywhere. Watched who studies geoengineering knows about Operation Popeye and the other various methods that they used against the Viet Cong in the Vietnam War. They used weather warfare, literally, to bomb those people as well. And that's the first thing I notice is those clouds ain't moving. And I got a deployment coming here. Right, I'll zoom in on it a bit and slow it down. Hide that. Slow this. Let's roll tape. Kind of. Timestamp for this is right down here. It says Friday, March 4th, 2022, 11:30. It runs a 4-hour gap, and that's done in GMT, Greenwich Mean Time. So, I'm going to stop this a bit. Let's look at this deployment. I call these boom boom plumes. Boom. A pellet of something, and it's streamering off, fizzing off, catalyzing clouds, making them in your atmosphere. I'll go backwards a step. And keep your eyes on a particular one. There's so many here, I can't point at them all. If you can, wow. That's all I can say about that. You could come here and run my screen. Yeah, there's a lot of little pellets going on here. This could be the artillery method. And it does say artillery shells on that document I showed. Yeah, this is not good. Lots of chem bombs going off over there. Taking a bite out of the bite and then going right over the top of Adelaide. Oh, that wine region. Only the finest chem bombs go in Barossa Valley wines. Or McLaren Vale, whichever one you want to talk. Yeah, I know. Yes, I blessed your vineyards in person. Know it. And you should bless this water because it's had its oneness taken. I'm just going to run that for evidence. Lots of chem bombs. Lots of electromagnetic perturbation right in here. You see the crisscross pattern here of an interference pattern. And I will say that these Project Loon balloons have emitters on them, as well as the Strato Cruiser, as it's called, that Scope X program the Harvard Club decided we needed. Has an EMF emitter on it. So you don't have to have a station on the ground to do it. You have a floating bzzzt bomber. That's the only thing I can call it. The Strato Bzzzer. Well, these people boosting themselves in the wrong way these days. Right, classic chem bomb deployment here. I'll put a little bit of a road on, maybe so you can kind of know. And I'll turn it off. Right, near Griffith, Dubbo, Orange, Mildura, and I have to turn it off. It just will lock the screen tight. So enjoy this one. I hope it's not the last. Chem bomb deployment here. Look at that V shape. Now that's not a round cloud. Something is deploying here. See if we can figure out. Yeah, they're a bunch of pigs. The Freudian slip sometimes can be quite honest. I'm actually looking at this dot here. It's turned into 3. If you've got SatView BOM, I'll show you how to find it. Look, watch. If I pull up your Oz National Radar, that we're all familiar with this here. Let's let it load. Right? It's fried here. Bzz. Big beam there. That'll come out and create a convection here and here. Prevent this from moving south. And fuel a storm. And it's fueling right over the next rad. You got Brisbane beam in here. And all these ain't lining up with one. You got a lot of different stations beaming. That's a heck of a pulse. Bzz. That's getting smaller. So that one's got Marburg again. Marburg's hitting hard. This is going to create an outflow boundary that these storms are going to have a difficult time coming inland from and hug the coast, stalling the storm with EMF. Yeah, that's that. Give me a minute. I'm going to have a look. Right, you're curious. So you go out to, if I zoom down, yeah, I like to look up tight. You'll see here you got these choices. Go to the 512. That'll zoom out as far as possible. That they'll let you. See if we pick up this beam. We definitely see that one. And because it's getting wider as it goes out, it's coming from this one. It's probably Maury is doing that one. Yeah, that'll be Maury beaming. And that's gonna energize that area, and it creates a convection that'll suck these in. So it'll create a curl. This type beam. This is what I've seen them do through the years. You want to prove it? Look what it'll do. Right, and it's going to come in. That'll cause a circulation through Tweed's head, and as they turn that off, the storm can proceed, and this whole area will be energized with microwave potential perturbation of the atmosphere, which will then, well, you got something big going on here too. Bzz. Right, I'm going to show a different way to see that maybe. Right, let's have a bigger look. This is worthy of it. I do hope it's streaming okay. This is the noise coffee cups make. So, there's someone here's blasting. That's blasting. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, something over here is nipple ripping. Look at that pulse. See it? If you take a straight edge, you'll see that the center of conicity of the cone is here. Or as I call it, the epicenter of the beam. And that's another pulse itself. That'll energize this area and again pin that storm to the coast. And that's not good either. That's not healthy for life. What we got going on down here? Bzz. Something's energizing that and very suddenly nucleating a condensate that would evaporate, and that number will indicate just how much each cloud got, actually. Interesting. I don't have my lightning on, right? It just clogs things up. So that's how I find that, right? But so I'll go back. I digress. I'm going to show you how to find SatView. Right, from the home page, right? Come down here, and you can go. You can either look at maps, if you want to look at pressure, which I go by. I don't look at their forecast. I just look at these pressure maps, like 102. So one day I'll explain how that works, the relationship of pressure and other pressures around it. You know, I look at these. I don't look at what they say is going to happen. Yeah, that's going to be a lot of volatility. And this line here will be the line of which this pressure bubble fights this one or joins it. This is going to go bloop, bloop, bloop until one of these wins. They'll get equalized, and eventually a motion from here can push that in, and then I do see that it'll create a low. Yep, there it is. So you can come down here and click radar, and you get this screen here. Or you can come down here and click satellite. You got lots of choices on this. You just explore your images, and you'll come up with that screen, right? Which I'm going to turn off because I've already got it over here. And we're going to continue along this line of chem bombs here, going off. Boom, 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 boom. Evenly spaced. Get a ruler out. Measure it. Something came along. Went, if it went this past and shot flares along both sides of a gondola of the proposed Scope X Stratocruiser, which you will go look at. I'm not going to overload my screen. I'm happy that it's showing what it is. That's evidence right here of chem bombs. And this stuff's coming to the coast. Off the coast itself, I'll give you a little location reference. Right off here. I'm going to go in. Right, Guilty Grafton. I nicknamed that radar station. So I'm going to zoom in here and show you some of the deployments off your coast. Are you hearing explosions? There's a lot of booming going on. You see how it quickly packs in? It's not easy running this program. Alright, let's see if we can get to play now. I'm trying to get in closer. Alright, I'm going to play with this here a minute. It lets me go up to 175 before it freaks out. Right. So I know it's gotten choppy. So let's look at this image. Something has deployed right here. Alright. See, just look at that spot. Something's in a line here. And we'll see. Boom, 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 boom. Ignition. The catalyst inside whatever has ignited. Firework has gone off. That one first, because it's a thicker nucleation than that one, and it is a square. That indicates a shape charge. Boom! So it will aim in a certain direction. Very clever. Yes, they use shape charges. Let's look at a different one. Let's look up here now. Alright? And you can screenshot any of this at any time to get a super image that you need. If I move too fast or my computer screen jumps. Something's deploying. If it's in that direction. And then I'll explain flows and how this storm is what I call an impossible storm. It shouldn't exist. I think of Franken. So this one's impossible. All the pressures are too high. Should have a mild breeze actually. With a pressure of 1007, you should have a mild breeze. There you go. We have the beginning of the deployment at this timestamp here, 9 a.m. GMT on 4th day, 3rd month, 2022. See? Now you don't see it, now you do. Boom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In a line. Evenly spaced chem bomb deployment off the coast of a country that has flooded things to death. It's being difficult. I'm just going to roll. Hey, this is a geoengineering. There's so many pulses out here. How do you finish describing it? What in the heck is going on here? Look at that thing. Now you don't see it, then boom. I'm going slow. I did take that on board, but it frustrated me because you have no idea what it was like to buy a computer you can't use. That's not cool. Come on, that's geoengineering. This is a lot of it. This is full-scale dominance of mankind with your microwaves. Oh my goodness. So something's cutting it. Or there's way up high, there's something that's creating a shadow. Square form storms, boom, and it merges, and now you don't see it. Now you see from the coast is a cloud, and it's changed the dynamics of the clouds in that area. So there's some more evidence of man-made weather, whether you like it or not. It's going on today. That's timestamp 9:30, 9:20 a.m. GMT and 4th day, 3rd month, 2022 right there. It's probably the greatest example I could probably show you today. Here's a live feed of it. Look. Boom, boom, boom. Go, the plumes. I'm going to have to zoom out. I've lost some of my controls. I told you, I don't like you zooming in on some stuff. I got them back. Let's roll this faster and see this area so I can have a look. Psst. Right, here's why it's an impossible storm. All the flow is in this direction, right? See this motion here? I'm zooming back. Yeah, I'm on ludicrous speed, man, because it's ludicrous times. It is. I'll slow it a little bit. Didn't like that move. You have flows here, and I'm going to explain. All this is coming down here, right? That's clear. Convection is bringing it in and around. So why is this going up this way. Why is that a rectangle? Right? Why? Didn't like that at all. Well, at least I got it to move. I have a energized area here that just refuses to make cloud. But I don't have no pressure sitting at 960 or something that should make an area devoid of clouds as the circulations happen. And that ain't circular. Look at that chemtrail coming and going. Boo, boo, boo. Epicenter right here where my arrow is. Watch. Something's deploying from that one spot and it's moving a line. Something's deploying here to different direction. Fueling the demise of lifestyles, family dreams, square. Microwave will make a matrix of up and downs and crisscrosses. Clouds will have no choice but to form within invisible walls of electromagnetic frequency, EMF. Look at this chem bomb deployment here. Where are we anyhow? Oh, I'm off the ocean. That's Carpentaria area, I call that. This is the Great Barrier Reef. Look at the chem bombs over the reef. Why is this cloud walking in the wrong direction? Why? Because geoengineering is real. Geoengineering kills. Geoengineering is wrong. Now I'm going to flip over. Oh, get lucky, it's still working. Right, here's today's image, NASA worldview of that mass of clouds that's headed your way to coastline. And as it goes, it might have properties of desiccants and stuff that will wick moisture, as I call it, into itself. And then drop it wherever they want. You vibrate small droplets together with frequency or infrasound, excuse me. You'll coalesce the droplets to be heavy enough to fall in a predictable manner. Look at the square form to this circulation in a bite. You can't really see that sickness mix deployment in this image. I don't see it. Thank goodness. You want to set me off, show me that stuff. And at the very end, I'll try to remember to zoom a line to that year and show you that deployment. Evenly spaced here, Swan Hill. Boom, 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 boom. Right? Have you gotten it by now? Do you understand what scalar squares can do? That's old tech. Like imagine with individual gondolas with microwave emitters floating around. That's not a tower you can fight in your neighborhood. That's over your heads. Something here is different than the rest of this cloud mass. And as I zoom in here, you guys see the crust. And I know it was Ash Wednesday and all yesterday, but that's a bit ridiculous. Look at this mess here. How many directions of the wind should be coming from this one point going out? If you have all those winds, you would have a tornado. Right over the Nanya Arid Zone Research Station. So they researching how to keep things arid there. And what would keep things arid? Desiccants in the air. So is that a self-perpetuating study that's studying how to make a desert? I don't know. I'm very curious about what they do here with this study. I don't know. So somebody inform me, please, because I like to know things. I'm not going to make an accusation. I'm just going, wow, look at all these desiccants over the top of this arid research station. I'm sorry if I'm jumping around. It's not my fault. Actually, I don't even have my hand on my mouse. Right? This is my computer saying, ha ha ha, sis boom ba, B-O-S-cally wabbit. I am. I'm just going to go onwards now and show you what I see. I can get rid of that and have a little more screen. How did it look in the spot yesterday? Nothing. Something. Something wicked your way comes, man. It's called the government. This is the government throwing your money up in the air. They ain't allowed to burn it. But they'll dang sure spray you with it. Evenly spaced plumes, square edges, geoengineering. Right here over Australia. You know? Wasn't there that day. It's not liking that. It's here now. Great big line of something came along. That's a classic chemtrail, as we used to call them, because they're real. If you got a chemical catalyst in the atmosphere and it's leaving a trail of cloud condensates, that's a chemtrail, period. Argue me that one there, Mr. Wigington, who didn't like me using that word. So I don't talk to him, because you don't tell me what to do. And I'm right. I'm 100% correct. If aluminum is an element that's a chemical, barium and strontium, you cannot argue that if they're catalyzing clouds that are leaving streamers and trails, that is a chemical trail. In fact, a sounding rocket leaves aluminum and barium, strontium trail behind it. And you cannot argue that it does not. And no meteorologist can. And Jim Lee very successfully argued that with them. And they could not win. Look at these plumes. You know how clouds forms. That ain't round. That ain't Mother Nature. That's not nurturing like Mother. This is blocking the sunlight of things over here in Wagga Wagga. If you looked south that day, you would have saw that. And if you looked over this way, you would have seen the not so beautiful sunrise filled with microwave clouds. Square forms that stood over here in Batlow, Canberra. I can't bear what they're doing to y'all anymore. Look at the scalar square over the top of these people. They're not feeling too good under this. How many square clouds do I need to show you before you realize something's wrong? That it is not a proposal. It is going on now. It has flooded out Australia, the geoengineers. And this is without them admitting they're doing it. Imagine to yourself a world they don't do this in. And I hate to imagine a world that allows this. But imagine how blatant it'll be then. You can't really get a shot of the waters going out to sea yet. I'm going to show you as soon as I can some of the pollution that I'm seeing. This is pollution. Here's some pollution. Look at that cloud of crap. That wasn't there a few weeks ago. This stuff is settling on the floor of the ocean. That's where the fauna is, and it's going to get on their leaves. Seen it many times with dust storms coming in from Egypt out over the Med, and how it changed the color of Izmir Bay every time. And it takes a good bit of agitations of these waters to clear that off the top of the fauna. And I imagine the fish skills ain't enjoying all this crap too much. Look how far down it went here, all the way from past Port McCreary. This flood toxins. See if we can get another view. No. Look at the square here. Can you pick it out by now? That squares that are not supposed to occur very often, naturally in nature, are occurring far too often in your skies? How do you make a pulse wave that fills in? Boom, 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 boom. Curve a ruler. Kind of look like an old Trump head here. He's yelling at you. For he's coming to save you in the geoengineer's cloud. He will not. Only you could save you. Only you must say no, Australia, to Australia's vote at the Paris Accord summits that they have in the next COP27 meeting. As the number will change. You must confront this. You must say no. Pulse waves around Grafton. Sorry for the fuzz out, but this is what they do to the imagery. When they don't want you to see it. They know I'm going to show it. They start blocking it. I know. Directly targeted. And if you think that's paranoia, come sit in my house. Bring your modem. Watch the smoke come out the back. And I haven't left a wake of fucking modems across the planet. Well verified too. This is Mount Warning. They got no warning. This is the area. It's beautiful, sacred. This is sacred. Okay? What did they do here a year ago? They didn't have too good of weather there last year. Look at all those microwaves. Look at Lismore last year. You got fried. What'd you look like the year before that? How long has this been going on? Far too long. I'm telling you, it's far too long. This is geoengineering. I'm going back on this date to 2019. I ain't got a clear image. I ain't got a clear image one. This has been going on a very long time. Look at the square forms of these clouds. That ain't surf's up. That ain't a fog bank with evenly spaced square plumes over the top of you. Not too good. I was in Australia at the time. I was here. I was over here. I was here that day. And it was nasty. Wedges of toxin, evenly spaced plumes of chemical catalyst, nucleating clouds, controlling your weather. And it's been going on a long time. A long, long time. I'm going to bring that back up to where I was, because that's depressing. It is. But I won't let them lower me while I'm trying to raise the planet's vibe. Right? I'll raise with it. And you got to realize that sometimes things you don't agree are real can kill you anyhow. This stuff can kill you. Mountain roads washing down. Oh, that can't happen. They would never do that. It's not a viable excuse for something being done. There's clear evidence of floodwaters here. Look at the brownness of the bay. Oh, no. This is where the whales learn to be whales. This is one of the most special areas in the world to me. And I bless it every time I look at it. And think a blessed thought for this area right now. Because this is where the humpback whales bring their calves and have calves. And they teach them how to be humpback whales. They teach them how to form that circle that comes up and traps the herring so they all get a good din-din. Not one of them going through being greedy. Teaches them the song. And we need to learn their song and sing it too with them. Otherwise, we're just geoengineers making squares, making copies of things that are undesirable to all life on planet. Bundaberg, I miss your ginger beer and root beer. Throwing that out there. I do. It's available here, but I ain't paying that for it. And I ain't having no fizzy drinks, because carbon dioxide is something I'm trying to keep out of my body, not add to. Edited, brushstroke feed so I can't see very clearly. You'll always see a little something over here, because I know somebody's fighting hard. But Rod, they keep plopping right on the top of you. Sometimes you can't overcome that which is wicked that keeps coming. Every time you aim one place, they deploy another. Oh, a Mickey Mouse here is here. This ain't a game time. This isn't Neverland. This is never get another chance land. And if we don't fix this now, this could be not only a regular occurrence. Anytime they want, our government wants to settle a policy, they just make a storm. Right? They can make a new god come along and say, look what God did. Our new God's doing this to us. We must be wrong. Don't give up your old beliefs just because some people believe they can make more money doing something else, bringing you in the city. So is this where the satellite city is going to be? I know Casino area has been proposed for a satellite city. Yeah, satellite city, smart grizz. You hear that word smart, man. Shake your head, man, because that's something dumb coming. Well, I want to be smart. I'll vote for a smart thing. You holding a phone in your hand that's a smartphone ain't making you no smart. It's dumbing you down. It's narrowing your view. Putting blinders on your head. You can get into a choir preach zone and you yourself get cognitively dissonant just because you're surrounded by people that always agree with you. So I like to surround myself with diverse people. There's some plumes off your coast here. I'm just cruising. Yeah, I see faces in the clouds and all that. Isn't it cool you used to lay on your back and see faces in the clouds and it didn't scare you? I want those days back. Hunter Marine Park. They're treating you so well, aren't you, with all this fallout? Newcastle. So I'm not going to go much further on this. I'm going to call this success. But before I go, I want to do this. Geoengineering. Balloons. Paris. Then Siggy. S-I-G-I. Bum, 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 bum. Not small, folks. Not small at all. This is a Stratocruiser from Sweden. How dare they? You see them emitters on the side of that? They ain't playing the greatest hits on there. They're hitting you greatly. There's your emitters, your mobile emitters. And that's geoengineering researchers have halted plans for a balloon launch. They ain't halted it. I just showed you where it's going on. We ain't talking these little things. right? It's taking a crane to put up. Dimming the sun. That's a dim idea from some dim nitwits, right? Strato cruisers, not a good idea. Called marine cloud brightening. I ain't never seen no ship like that, because I know these things can do it with a hose and a ship, right? That's a more viable way they did that. And a chemical can, right? There's a can of something right there in the line. Look at that. What the hell is that? Right? That ain't a plane fart. That's just farting in everybody's general direction. This ain't a Monty Python world, but it seems like it sometimes, right? Oh, let's do this over the ocean. On purpose. That's marine cloud brightening for people that don't think this is real. It's been going on a long time. I'm not a nutter. Well, you know, if you are what you eat, I've been known to pop some peanuts back. Well, here's the document. Go look it up. Siggy papers. I'm going right for the meat and potatoes. I'm telling you, they can use artillery. Says it right here. The potential delivery vehicle for stratospheric sulfur dioxide. Like, that's a healthy thing to breathe. Go stand next to the scunny dang steelworks when they're tipping. You can see that big orange cloud come down the road. For stratospheric sulfur dioxide injection. I'm going to read it from scratch in case somebody wants to quote it out. Use anything of mine you need. Don't have to credit me. Just use it. I'm the black sheep of the movement. People don't want to hear it from my mouth, but if you hear it from yours, maybe they'll listen. Potential delivery vehicles for stratospheric sulfur dioxide injection include aircraft, right? Chemtrails ain't real. Aircraft. Artillery shells. Chem bombs ain't real. And stratospheric balloons, right? Chem bombs ain't real, right? This is what I heard for years. This is a UN document, Paris Agreement and Climate Geoengineering Governance. And hoses suspended from towers, right? And then here's all the cell. Here's the cell of the cloud brightening, and this is the cell. Mr. Takanabu here, a guy from Nabu, thinks it's a very good idea for fail-safe solar radiation management. They quote all these studies down here in the bottom. This is foolproof information. I didn't make a misinterpretation of an exact read. Pollute the planet for climate's sake. A study by Richard A. Kerr, whatever you want to pronounce it, from 2008 on page 315 of Science 401 of the blah. All the blah blah numbers are all right here. Right? I'll look like an interesting read. How do we pollute the planet? Wasn't I just calling that pollution? Right? Space system. You want some mirrors. You want some lasers. Well, somebody proposed, how many? 55,000 mirrors in random orbits. What could possibly go wrong breaking the mirror over the planet? How much bad luck did we get then? That's what you want to see mirrors raining down? I don't. That's just wrong, man. You leave it alone. That's far away. That ain't a sun simulator. That's aiming the sun away from you. Okay? Not that they couldn't beam them all together and do some harmful things with accumulated beams of sunlight. Should we look at those generators that have mirrors on them on those fields? What could possibly go wrong? You want to talk about a death ray? Well, we're having another heat wave because Mr. Burns wants a higher electric bill from your air conditioning. Right? Albedo and stuff. Now I'm going to look through this a bit. Jesus. They want to own everything. It is not an act of God when you or the government are playing God. Hey, let's throw some stuff in the ocean. What could possibly go wrong? What, is there an iron deficient guppy out there somewhere or a clownfish clowning around? I think a clownfish is clowning around. You wonder why you got plankton blooms. And they did this stuff. They actually experimented. I think it was over the Kemetic Trench. They poured a bunch of crap in the ocean, a bunch of metal, and used floating heart buoys. University of Auckland did it. Go look that up too. I learn a lot in my travels, and I learn a lot every day just from reading and researching myself. Long-term responses to the ocean's removal from the atmosphere, the CO2 from the atmosphere into the ocean itself. What? Do they need oxygen in that water they breathe, or do they need more CO2 sequestered? They want to sink carbon from machines that sift the air. which I have to point out, certain activist, Dane Wigington, pushed that for many years. I'm trying not to trash people, but that's a fact. He pushed this agenda. So that was his solution part. He backs that one. I didn't say he invented it, but he backs it. In all fairness, if we could just stop spraying ourselves like bugs and plant heirloom trees that belong in the areas of the world that they were indigenous to, that would be great. And then let them regulate the waters of the world. Now I'm up to page 17. I can almost get you direct air capture. Right? That's that extracting carbon dioxide from ambient air. That's what I was talking about just a moment ago. Closed loop industrial process. Industrial, military, complex. Getting a paycheck. Getting paid, and they want trillions, and you're going to pay for it with taxes. Hi, did you buy something that's not the color green going to have green tax? Risks associated. What could possibly go wrong? Right here, SIA could adversely impact hydrological cycle. In other words, the water cycle of this planet could be adversely impacted. And this is page 18. Potential risks. First sentence. This is just on precipitation. So screenshot that and read it, or go over it yourself. I've hit that download button so many times that my computer's going to say, hey, come on, if I do it again. Right? You got to read these things. I'm not going to read them all out. Take a moment and read that. Screenshot it. Use it. Understand it. Check the sources down here. All these names. These people have names and addresses, and I'm sure would love some attention to talk about a research paper they did in 2011. Just, wow, you read that? Yeah, I did. And what the fuck were you thinking is my first question. I'm going to ask every one of these. As soon as you seen they wanted to do that, what the fuck were you thinking cooperating to see what would go wrong? And that's what they do. They do stuff to see what can go wrong, rather than think about what can go wrong ahead of time. Like, I'm going to do something untested. People may die, and they may not. So they do it anyhow to see if it happens. You hear what I just said? Cloud shot won't let me up. Right. Marine cloud brighten. It is a bad idea. Leave them alone. Be grinding up fish accidentally in one of them things and chucking it up in the air. Sunlight-related skin cancer. Here's a cell. Yeah, well, if you stop using sunscreen, that would be great. I use a big word. The diminution of the ozone layer. An ozone layer burps, comes back together. Even NASA studies showed that. Try that again. This is the cell. Deployment of options, however, could radically change the equation. Injection of sulfur dioxide particles into the atmosphere would substantially increase available surface areas for heterogeneous reactions. I love them big words. Are you opposite of the same genus or the same thing reactions which inactive forms of chlorine and bromine could be converted to forms that could facilitate catalytic destruction of ozone. So even they say here that they put that up in the atmosphere, they might destroy the very ozone layer that I just told you. It was just a scare factor. Remember they said destroy the ozone layer, we'd all freeze to death, we'd be nuclear wintered and all that shit, mini ice ages, and now we're going to burn up within a year. And Greta, you was so wrong. Kids killed themselves when you wound them up and said you'd all be dead in 3 months. How dare you? She should be brought up in charges for that. Really, perpetrating a hoax. Crying wolf should be fucking punishable. Should. She cried wolf. Right, gonna keep going. Only school strike I see is the school striking minds out of people and critical thinking out of the heads of beautiful children that were brought here to do beautiful things. Right, so I'm not going to go over this whole thing. I'm starting to get angry. And well, that's not what I want to do to not diss my own ease. You know, and you can find that paper by Googling geoengineering balloons, Paris, Siggy. Yeah. And you hit all. You'll see the Paris Agreement and climate, and you'll see various other documents. There he is, the man that says spraying you like bugs is a good thing. And here's a lecture You should listen to it. I know you'll feel disgusted, but you have to hear the salesman sometimes to expose what's wrong. Right? We got to hear them. And I'll tell you, that's a vileness. So here you are, Australia. You got your weather on. And now, if we're lucky, this is going to stream, and I saved it for last. I'll do the weather plan and how I see it. Okay? I said I'd try to do that for you. I'm going to show you a few different things. My radar here is a little bit different. Okay, so I'm going to pull it up. Right, that pulse here I was showing you is definitely there. And yes, I can hit your webcams. I'm going to run it. This gives me a general idea who's pulsing. That is definitely fired up. See the inner ring and the ring? You guys are easing off up here as nighttime comes. Take a breath. Take a breath through here. As these waters are coming down towards Sydney, they're hitting it again here to keep that water sustained flood going for a while. I don't see any huge beams. It's nothing huge. This is always a concern. We can get that to run. It'll be centralized around the next route. Yeah, that's not a naturally occurring cloud formation with a big right turn collide. Somebody called it the sock look. I think it was Kate Beardsley, the first person I ever heard say that. And I hope you're safe, Kate, because you was out there near those where all these floods are. You're in my thoughts. You and your family. You too, Aaron. I'm just looking right now. What are these all creeks? I'm just having a, oh my, look at Maury. He's blasting. Absolutely blasting. Bzzz. This is evidence of geoengineering. That's going to pin this. Yeah, Stanthorpe, they had a problem one year. They had no water. Now they got way too much. Really, they had to evacuate that whole town because they had no water. That's not a lie. I remember when they had the wooden bong fires and all that. It's a terrible time out there for these folks. You guys have been through hell. You've been through fires. You've been through floods. It's like the plagues of Moses has been visited upon the pox of your house. And it's time for us to get rid of that construct that had pharaohs. Because the ruling class is still in charge. That's fact too. They all related to each other. That girl did that homework assignment and found out every president but one at the time was related to the Queen of England. That sounds like a control to me. That one's definitely not cool. Don't look like there's any data at all from Brisbane. Like they shut that down. Anything on? There's a cell rotating out here. That pretty much dissipated. That just gave you big rumblers and scaring people now. Poor children right now. Every time they hear a thunderclap, they got to be getting nervous. So we got to explain to them this is weather is man-made and wrong. And even if the teachers disagree, sometimes teachers can be wrong too. Right? A lot of lightning going on. This one does have the lightning on it. So I can see. You're getting a little bit of a breath of air. Bit of a circulation normally happens when the flow is this way. And it goes past these two islands. Cabrizzi's an island, man. I'm surprised with all these swords. That sucker ain't leaning sideways. Good, that's what I like to see. Alright. Not too much EMF. So I'm going to turn that off. Yeah, I got lots of data. Right, here's the weather plan. I'm going to zoom back. Got a lot of see, oh, you wasn't showing there. No. This is not a little bit of rain coming down, but most of it's offshore. Right. Not a little bit. Let's see if we can get a stat on it. Yeah, that's light rain. But anything's concerning right now. Don't manifest the storm any harder than it already is. I want us to, with our devices that we use, cloud busters and stuff, to defeat this. Right? I want to be wrong so bad. If you think I don't want to be wrong, you ain't figured me out yet. Now here comes your weather plan. Sydney's down here. It's an impossible storm. All of it, the flows are right. I got 2 lows right here. 2 indicative of a femtosecond laser that is known to control weather. That was installed on out of the sky. Boy, yeah, that's a heavy thing coming through. They're loading the mountains again, Sydney. Stop. Right here. Stop. Right, they're loading it. Which side gets it this time? Okay, this side of the river. It's not you, Penrith, this time. Picton, Bargo. I can't read this other here. I can go hour by hour. They get you 2 deluges. Heavy lightning. This is going to keep going. It's just not within the half an hour. All this is running right over the rivers. These lakes have got to be it. There's right over the lakes. I'm worried about this, actually. Those dams have had it. They've had more than they were designed for. Young, and you guys have copped it. But you are in that Juddy outfit that catches a lot of weather. Man-made stuff. Bit of a relief. Teresa Parks, what that other one said. Turn that off. It might work a little better. They're predicting where the lightning's going to go on. Come on, man. This is a weather plan. How come that ain't round and it's square? I tell you why. Because geoengineering is real. Let's go up coast. Not too good at that time. That's Port McCreary, and these are these mountains of these already flooded hills. That's not light rain. You start seeing them deeper reds, that's deluge. That's even on every day of the year. If that just popped over, would make a flash flood. That'd take hours for the runoff to go all the way up through West Roxy. I said that the other day. Forecast still accurate. That's why I didn't feel too gutted, other than my computer wouldn't work. Port McCreary again. Oh my God, how many days of rain are you getting? Rain accumulation. This next 12 hours should be a break, so some of this runoff fills these streams. For 24 hours, runoff's trickling down. Don't be suckered into going back into the lowlands, please. This is not over. Over the next 3 days, you're back. Huge amount of rain, just like it was over the other part of your country a few days ago. Now this one's hitting this corner, and all of it will race this way. Newcastle, they ain't done with you. They, the geoengineers, they who plan weather events, they that resemble something like this. Yeah, I went there. Right, here's over the next 3 days. That's not good. But it's good news for you guys up here. Yes, you got some heavy stuff still coming. Which webcam showing me? I know you're curious. Yeah, that's what these are. Yeah, I can look. I told you I'm watching y'all. There's not much to see during the day. Next 5 days, this whole area inundated. Inundated. Over the next 10 days, boom. More for you guys. Gimpy. Bundaberg. Blessings to the pyramid. May they not destroy it. You shouldn't destroy it. If you don't know that they're trying to destroy a piece of your history in Gimpy, you better get on it and stop it. Because there's a pyramid there and they want to destroy it. And it's a sacred site. How fucking dare they? Yeah. How dare they Captain Cook us again? Because they're cooking us with microwaves now. Yep. We're all being Captain Cooked. And Captain Cook is the chief geoengineer, Bill Gates, who funded this shit. He does. He funds it. Well funds it. Got Keith in his back pocket. Got Caldera in his back pocket. He got deep back pockets, and it's time for us to rip that pocket open and let the coins fall back out into our wallets where they belonged in the first place. Mary Burrow, this is not good, man. All this runoff goes out in the reef. Yeah, you guys prepare over the next 10 days. But over 5 days, it's not as There's your forecast. Screenshot it and look at it. There's your weather plan, hour by hour. They know where that water's going. Because they do it. And they just destroyed the most beautiful activistic community of good-hearted people that heal people for free. Even. They took the time to talk to me about healing so I can help heal. I'm so right. Next 24 hours, you're getting a little bit of a break, Lismore. A little bit of a break. Hopefully some of those floodwaters will go down. But remember what I said? Broken windows on houses flooded to the roof might have people that died in them in the top floors because they got up as high as they could go, and maybe they didn't have a ladder to get on their roof. I think about these things. These poor people. I am so sorry that geoengineers did this to you. I'm so sorry to even have to describe this mess to you. A center of circulation of a storm that should never be square. It's not hip to be square here. That's for sure. That's not a circulation. I haven't even come up with a word with it. A geoulation. I'm tired of ululating about it, that's for sure. That's not a round form. That's not a cloth. That's not fish food they're going over these reefs near Lord Howe Island here. Sorry. It's jumping around. My hand's not even touching my mouth right this minute. Must be a delayed command. Horrendous. Yeah, I'm so sorry to have to report all these things all the time. But one day I want to turn this on. I'm going to see beautiful crystal clear skies where they're supposed to be. I'll see rain over a rainforest that the trees induced with their giving off their water, with the steam we see. The condensates over the top of the forest are naturally occurring cloud formations. They are. Those are natural. Right? Anybody tells me there's no such thing as a natural cloud anymore, come and walk in the woods with me. We'll talk about that. But I know that the conditions of the atmosphere are unnatural anymore. And that they're man-made. And not that the plumes are toxic. Broken hill. Broken lungs. Plumes. Anyways, I'm going to jump off here. I'm going to send my blessings to Australia. And I'm going to send the following message. Don't drink that fluoride. Wake the fuck up. Man-made weather is real. Quit ridiculing people that are trying to save your lives for pointing out the center of your storm ain't as round as it used to be. And some change needs to come around. Everybody stop. What's that sound? Everybody look up. What's going down? And what's falling down is all the stuff they put up. Big love. Peace.